Hannibal. Hey, Ego, do you think about the latest talks in Triple G camp of coming with something new? I didn't even see that. Who said that? What up, yo? What up, though? Gang, gang. Crawford or Ndongo? I'm going with Crawford, man. I'm not betting against dude. No point, really. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's really somebody that's... I just ain't seen enough of Ndongo to feel he's gonna beat him. I mean, he did good in his last 2 fights, but nah, I can't rock with Ndongo over Crawford. He showed me more. Shout out to Dallas, man. Texas in the building. I'll be impressed if he KOs him, just like he did Felix Diaz. I told y'all before the fight. See, what happens in this boxing game, a lot of these motherfuckers with certain fighters, what they try to do is they try to talk shit beforehand to minimize the win. You know what I mean? Oh, Crawford's just fighting Felix Diaz. Like, fuck you mean? That's Olympic gold medalist. That's why I told you before the Felix Diaz fight, if he knocks him out, I'd be impressed. Because that's still an Olympic gold medalist. You look at Keith Thurman, he fought an Olympian, and he wasn't even a gold medalist in Leonard Bundu, and he couldn't knock him out. You know what I'm saying? So them Olympians a lot of times can be tricky. I'm not saying that makes or breaks you, but it shows you have experience, and experience to learn how to survive. Like, Bundu wasn't winning no rounds against Keith Thurman, but at the same time he knew just enough to do to mark up Keith Thurman's face and not get knocked the fuck out. Yo, man. Hey, I'm just gonna tell y'all straight off the rip. Ever since this Mayweather-McGregor fight's been going on, I'm getting a lot of radical comments. And believe me, it's nothing to just block you and keep the shit pushing. So you might want to fall back before you get your ass put in timeout like a little kid and become a one-hit wonder. So just a warning, make sure that one comment is good, because that's all you got. You talking that stupid shit, you'll be a one-hit wonder real quick. Ego, why you block me on IG? I don't know you, so I don't know why, but there had to be a reason. I don't just block people. Man, they getting put in timeout. It's not the season for that. 2017, we up and away. Too much good shit. Yeah, lame kid. You putting lame, you gonna get your lame ass put in timeout like a little toddler. I don't know who Tank's fighting. That's a real good question. I don't know. I thought it was gonna be Salido, but then it looked like he got injured or some shit. So I just want to rap to y'all for a minute. I'm about to get this suit. I didn't end up going to LA because I ended up getting sick, so I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? And then now I watched the HBO fights, I'm kind of glad I didn't go. They were cool, but there wasn't nothing special where I absolutely had to be. I thought Joe Smith Jr. versus Sullivan Barrera was going to be the fight to steal the show, and then it was pretty one-sided. I was surprised with that. I did a video earlier, they're saying he might have a broken jaw, so maybe that's the reason, but nonetheless, it was still one-sided. Then the Jezreel Corrales, it ended prematurely, you know what I'm saying? So, and then the main event, I thought it was going to be a Francisco Vargas, Takashi Miura type of war, and it's kind of like Matisse Provodnikov. See, that's what you guys got to realize in boxing. A lot of times, people give all this credit to the action stars and these action fighters and stuff like that, but when these action fighters are in there with someone else who could crack and it has the same level of like brute force or slug it out type of ability, what they do is the person who can naturally box just a little bit better, they go to a boxer, and then it's not this epic slugfest that you're expecting. You know what I mean? Because I thought Matisse versus Provodnikov, somebody was going to get stretched, and that's not what happened, because Matisse, he's more of a boxer puncher and he can box way better than Provodnikov, so he just transformed to more of a boxer, stayed patient. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but That's what happens when some of these fights that look on paper like, damn, somebody got to get knocked out, fight of the year. They don't always play out like that. You know what I'm saying? And there's the other thing is, like, a lot of people, like HBO be on some dumb shit. They be talking about comparing Jeff Horn, or not HBO, ESPN. Well, HBO and ESPN. They compare Pacquiao Horn versus Mayweather Pacquiao. That's stupid. Because the Pacquiao Horn fight shouldn't have even been that tough. That's Pacquiao's fault that that fight was even that fucking hard. He underestimated that boy, and Jeff Horn was like, the Horn! Danny Duck and Errol. Nah, I can't. You know what? If he beat Keith Thurman, I could say that. But I can't say that because, like, y'all got to be realistic. And I fuck with Errol. You know what I'm saying? Like, on a personal level, every time I see him, it's love. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be realistic. The motherfucker just lost to Keith Thurman in March. Taking some time off, a couple of months, that's normal. But as much as I would love to see it, do I think he wants to fight Errol Spence? Absolutely not. I don't think that. But at the same time, I can't say he's ducking at this point when he just lost. He has no belt. You know what I'm saying? Work your way up the ladder. And you know, motherfuckers be hating on Danny Garcia, but every time somebody wins, they want to see him versus Danny Garcia. You know what I mean? Pacquiao beats Vargas. They say, oh, Pacquiao should fight Garcia. Errol Spence beats Brook. Oh, Errol Spence should fight Danny Garcia. Omar Figueroa, he should fight Danny Garcia. So, you know what I mean? You gotta cut these. See, I'm gonna tell y'all what's wrong with boxing. A lot of y'all fans don't be true loyal fans. Like, you go to UK, some of them fighters be getting fucked up. Some of their fighters be getting fucked up on the reg, and they still support them. You know what I mean? American fans don't do like that. They're like, oh, you suck now? Triple G still winning? Cool, we on his line. You know what I mean? That's what people do. But at least get by your fans, man. Like, or your fighters, get by them. Because you guys send them out for these death missions and knowing they ain't gonna beat them in this Super 6 Mortal Kombat style of tournament, and then y'all quick to dismiss them. You know what I mean? So I think fighters have to be smart, and I'm a businessman, but not for the sake of boxing. Like, I don't want to see the best fights, but I'm also realistic. You know what I mean? You got to be realistic with it. Danny Garcia just lost. So this is the thing. Look, like Kell Brook. What are people saying Kell Brook needs to do after 2 back-to-back losses? What are people in the UFC saying Ronda Rousey needs to do after 2 back-to-back knockout losses? Retire. Okay, then. So, you know what I mean? That would be a huge gamble for Danny Garcia. You lose to Keith Thurman, and then if Errol Spence stops you, hypothetically, you know what I mean, even though Garcia has a good beard, then people say he needs to retire. So, you know what I mean? Come back correct. Maybe even fight like an Omar Figueroa, a guy who doesn't have a belt. Broner, if he can get that Broner fight. I would like to see the Broner fight despite the outcome of Mikey Garcia. You know what I mean? Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia. That would be a good-ass fight. Kell can still beat a lot of guys based on skill. The only concern I have is based on his mind. Where is his mind? His mind might be fucked after that because he tried to bite basically and all that. And he tried to bite off more than he could chew, and then he did all this saying nobody's really knowing Errol Spence, and then he came back to your backyard and pretty much shut you up. And I don't care about if Kell Brook was winning early rounds. See, that's what kills me when people say that in boxing. Like, people say, oh, Amir Khan was blasting Danny Garcia. Yeah, but he did great. He cut Danny Garcia's face. He won the first 2 rounds easy work. But who would you rather beat? Danny Garcia in rounds 1 or 2, or Amir Khan getting knocked down 3 times in rounds 3 and 4? You know what I'm saying? That's why I never understood when people reference stuff like, oh, but he was getting his ass. I mean, if you're getting your ass beat for 12 rounds, like let's say John Molina versus Mickey Bay, he was definitely losing every single round, and he had like a home run knockout. That's a little bit different. But I didn't see Errol Spence getting dogged by Kell Brook. I had Kell Brook winning some of those early rounds, but I don't think Errol Spence was just getting embarrassed. It never really looked like he was going to get knocked out or anything like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, you got to put stuff in perspective. If a fight goes halfway mark, like I said, Amir Khan and Danny Garcia, Who would you rather be? You rather be Amir Khan looking great in rounds 1 or 2, or would you rather be Danny Garcia knocking him down brutally in rounds 3 and then finishing him up in round 4, knocking him down 2 more times? Yeah, he looked good early, and that's part of that. Not to make any excuses, but fluctuating your weight. You eating whatever to fight Golovkin, and I'm eating me steak, and basically, and he felt he was the man. And then now you're going back and down, and then to keep a guy like Errol Spence honest and off of you, you gotta work. Errol Spence ain't in there to play. You know what I'm saying? He's coming in there to work. So that takes a lot of energy. Kell Brook was using a lot of movement. He came down in weight. And credit to Errol Spence. Errol Spence's consistent pressure and not getting too rattled or hurt. I think there was one spot in there where it looked like Errol Spence got shook up a little bit, but it wasn't nothing major. Yeah, man, y'all, some people hit me up about this Conor McGregor getting knocked out in sparring. I seen the clip or whatever, y'all send it to me, but I ain't really shit to talk about. I made that video about Conor McGregor getting knocked out in sparring when I heard the rumor like 8 months ago. And you know what I mean, Jesse Vargas might have watched my fucking video and heard that. I don't know. Maybe he has somebody who told him that. That's, you know what I mean? But I look at it like this. The reason why it's not even conversation worthy is because this is 2017. You got to show receipts. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, whatever Jesse Vargas, he said it super casually too. He was like, yeah, I heard he got knocked down in sparring. Boxing world is small. I mean, that could be anything. I could tell you, I know people that got knocked out in sparring. Like, I know true stories, but I could, you know what I mean? I don't put people's business out there like that. But if I wanted to, I could show receipts and show you proof and multiple people who were there and stuff. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to try Jesse Vargas and say he didn't hear that. I don't know what he heard. But for me, you got to kind of show receipts. Conor McGregor is, you know what I mean? He's a pretty big dude. There's a chance he got knocked out, but I want to see it. Somebody needs to come forward and own up to it. And the other thing is, like, them big fighters like Ronda Rousey, Floyd, and Conor, they probably be having non-disclosures that they have to sign. So, I mean, we really wouldn't be able to prove it for the most part, because even if it did happen and someone told someone, like, pss, 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 behind the scenes, at the end of the day, no one could probably come forward. Otherwise, they'd risk getting sued and shit like that. So, you know what I mean? There's a chance that happened, but it's not, I don't know. For me, it's not nothing I can't validate it. So what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Shout out to Markel Jackson, $2 super chat. We working. We got a lot going on. Ego, you the best. Thank you. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I just feel super blunt today. Someone says, "What if Mayweather takes a dive?" What would be the basis of that? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't view boxing. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive, but I really feel like I don't view boxing in the sense of a bunch of conspiracy theories. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every time there's something controversial, people have this conspiracy theory. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What would be the benefit for Mayweather, instead of capturing 50-0, to take a dive to an MMA fighter? Why wouldn't he take a dive to Canelo or Oscar De La Hoya, or, you know what I'm saying, Maidana or whoever? You know what I'm saying? I'm probably not doing Monday Meal Day because I end up getting sick, so I didn't even put up the video. But yeah, I don't see the basis or and see, this is the thing with the whole take a dive. People would be speculating that. How would anybody know if that was the game plan? How would it have been announced before the fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, who knew and had this information that spread it to the public before the fucking fight happened? You know what I'm saying? It don't sound copacetic to me. You know what I mean? Like, this whole monster plot to take a dive, I just don't. Tim Bradley, does he need to retire? I mean, why? I don't think so. He just needs to fight. Fuck retiring. I want to see Tim Bradley versus Errol Spence, Amir Khan, Kell Brook if he's still at 47, Danny Garcia. I mean, Bradley can make a good-ass fight with anybody. The only thing I don't want to see no Pacquiao. I would even watch Bradley versus Jeff Horn, see how he dealt with that. But he just needs to fight. Yeah, Chino Maidana stopping by. That was dope. exactly where is who? Bradley? I don't know. I know he's training fighters. I think he was on the telecast for Pacquiao Horn. See, this is the. I met Bradley. He's a cool dude. But this is what I noticed for some fighters. It really feels like to me that some fighters, they end up making a lot of money, and it's like the old saying goes, it's hard to get up and want to run 8 miles in silk pajamas. You know what I mean? And Amir Khan, Tim Bradley, they kind of seem like that. Like they've already, since they were kids, they've been doing this. So now that they made some good money, it's like they don't want to get up out their seat to just rump with an Errol Spence, or you know what I mean? Like they feel like I've already done the wars. Like Amir Khan did wars with Maidana, Bradley had wars with Provodnikov, so he's like, man, I'm not really tripping. That's what it seems like to me. Ego, what do you think about Guerrero versus Figueroa? That shit looked fake. Again, I don't do much of the conspiracy theories unless there's some like clear-cut, like definitive, something I really seen in there. That shit didn't look fake to me at all. It looked like Guerrero had no head movement and his head was getting fucking slaughtered. That's what it looked like to me. It didn't look like fake at all. And people have to understand boxing. What I mean by that, I'm not saying I know everything, but what I mean by that is people are like, what? Keith Thurman couldn't stop Robert Guerrero. Danny Garcia, known punchers. Floyd Mayweather's accurate. None of these guys stopped Guerrero, but Omar Figueroa did. But it doesn't work like that, because the version of Robert Guerrero that Figueroa just fought had endured several wars. He had been, you know what I'm saying, he had been through wars in a short period of time. Look at it. Look at Selçuk Aydin. He started getting tired in that fight in the second half. You know what I mean? He started getting tired, so that I would consider a war. Plus, he had jumped up 2 weight classes. So, and Aydin at the time was a big puncher. You know what I mean? And undefeated. So that was a war. Andre Berto was a war. He started off good, but Berto started lumping his eye up. That was a war. Then he came back and fought Floyd Mayweather, which it wasn't a war because Mayweather made it so one-sided, but he was getting picked off at will. Then he came back and fought Yoshihiro Kamagai, war. That fight put Kamagai on the map in the States. And then after that, I don't even know who he fought. Keith Thurman. It was one-sided, got beat down, got knocked down and badly hurt. Then he came back and had a war with Aaron Martinez, got badly hurt, right? Then he had a war with David Peralta, you know what I mean? So Danny Garcia too. So that didn't look fake at all. He's probably shot warrant or whatever. You can't take that tough of a schedule, like and not win some of them fights. You know what I'm saying? The only one that of all those ones I just listed that I really remember him winning was the Kamagai one. He lost to David Peralta. I mean, Omar Figueroa is fresher. He's been through some wars, but he had dry spells in his career. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't getting knocked down and shit. A lot of scar tissue, and I like to call it mental scar tissue. I think Robert Guerrero has mental. How can, if Guerrero lost to Floyd, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, and a lot of people thought he lost to Aaron Martinez, that's 4 fucking losses in a short period of time. So how could he remain as confident as he once was? Do you know what I'm saying? It would be hard to fake. Even though they gave him the Aaron Martinez fight, I thought he lost that fight. So to me, it would be real hard to magically remain that confident. You know you lost to Floyd. You know you lost to Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia wasn't even debatable to me, but some people maybe. But you definitely lost. I thought you lost to Aaron Martinez. You know what I'm saying? All that. So for me, that didn't look fake at all. That was simply a guy who had too tough of a schedule. And that's what it is. And he didn't give himself, like, name his tune-up. What was his tune-up? You can't say Kamagai, because Kamagai came to war, and now he's fighting Miguel Cotto. You know what I'm saying? And he knocked out Jesus Soto Caras at 54. So where was his tune-up? You know what I mean? Hold on 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna jump back on in a couple minutes. I gotta find this charger.